Hi there, namaste, and welcome back to another spiritualistic pick a card reading. I'm so grateful that you're here with me today. Today I am channeling a message to you from Ganesha, so please take a deep breath, drawing the energy up your spine, creating a clear and open channel. And as you exhale, allow yourself to come into clear knowing which group or groups has your message in it for you today. We have group number 1 with eyes like a hawk. Group number 2 with follow the flow. And group number 3 with escaping the matrix. As always, the timestamps to your readings are listed below in the description box, as well as all the rest of my personal information. If I have personal tarot and astrology readings and energy work sessions available, you can find those below in the description box, as well as the links to my personal social media account and my Etsy shop, where you can find goodies such as books, journals, decks, and jewelry that I make, things like this, to assist you on your spiritual journey. So, with all of that being said, I'm so grateful that you are here today. I love you with my whole heart, and I will see you at your reading. Namaste. Hi there, Group 1. Namaste, and welcome to your reading. Today I'm channeling a message to you from Ganesha, and you selected the first group with the eyes like a hawk card. Tapping in with your energy, there is an energy that wants to come through today, letting you know that you are on the right track, and a vision that you have for your future is really not as far off as you might think. It might seem like a lot of hard work, but the vision that you are being shown right now actually involves the steps that you are going to want to take to get there. Although the destination may be a little bit different than what it is that you are seeing, the reason for this is simply because you and the universe know the way that you work. And so Ganesha wants you to know that by following the vision that you have, you are going to end up at a place that is very, very similar to what you are seeing, but what you are seeing is what you need to see in order to get there. For example, say that you know that you are meant to write a book. You are seeing that that book will be very successful. Perhaps that book ends up becoming inspiration for something else, or maybe the process of writing that book leads you into starting a blog, or it leads you into being a writer for your favorite journal or something like this. This is not to say that you are not meant to write the book. It's saying that the reason why you see yourself with that book or with that finished project or in that place in life specifically, it is a little bit more of what you need to see in order for you to know which steps to take in order to get into that energy. But the vision you are seeing of that same energy, of that same vibration, is what you need to see a little bit more than it is precisely where you're going. So, advice in the meantime from Ganesha is allow yourself not to struggle holding onto that vision too tightly along the way. Allow it to continue to guide you. Obstacles are being removed from the path, one of which including you seeing exactly where you are going. Now you see where you're going. You might have a vision down to the T. The T's are dotted, the T's are crossed, the I's are dotted. But there is something here that you are seeing yourself at the end of the day winning a prize for your book. What it might be is that you end up winning a prize for the movie that comes from your book. And what you're seeing is the culmination of all relevant pieces so that you are able to understand where you are going. With this being the case, it's important to remind yourself that when you are on stage receiving an award for the movie they made from your book, not to be thinking in the back of your mind, but what about the award I get from my book? Because you are experiencing it in the moment. Things will come in, if you allow them, in ways better than you had imagined. Better meaning more fun, meaning a bigger deal, and also meaning more personalized for you, in ways that are actually in your best interest. In ways where you might be manifesting one thing specifically, but you might actually be receiving the version of that manifestation that is actually a better investment towards your future and those who come after you. So allow yourself to remain open-minded. But with the eyes like a hawk card, there is a reason why you are receiving precise visions right now, why you are receiving precise information right now. There's a reason why you are receiving a little bit more I'm hearing the word rudimentary, which is interesting, very specific tasks, very specific visions, very specific dreams. The specificity here, the precision, is not an accident. Now, this is not to say that there is not room for interpretation down the line. This is to say that you are being shown energetically where you are going, and the vision on top of it, these are your first steps or your next few steps. And so Ganesha wanted to make sure that you know this. Your vision is not at all incorrect. In fact, it may still come to pass. However, the reason why you're seeing this right now is not so that you get attached to that specific vision, that specific goal, that specific idea, but rather that you utilize that to kind of tug on the string and unravel the sweater, which will, at the end of the day, have taught you a lot about the stitches involved in the sweater, and will still take you from where you are to where you're going. So, allow yourself to be present in the moment while working towards that goal, aware that that's the goal you needed to know or think you were reaching towards in order to get to something bigger, better, greater, and something that you would enjoy more, something that actually serves you a bit more. So Ganesha wanted to lead with that message. And there's also this energy of a heart space awakening here. A beautiful soul named Evan commented on one of my Instagram pictures this morning while I'm recording this, and it's coming forward, so I'd like to share it. It is, your awakened heart is a gift to creation. And so that message might be helpful for some of you along the way. It might be congruent to what you're learning, or just something beautiful for you to keep in mind. Now, we do have the Two of Cups at the back of the deck. Let's see. Messages, please, to group number 1 from Ganesha. Continue opening the eyes of your heart. Continue working through your heart space. Continue tapping in with that divine unconditional love that is you. And you will never be, I'm hearing the word forsaken, you will never be left behind. You will never be left upset by where you are taken. Okay, beautiful, beautiful. So at the back of the deck, we've got the Fool. Let's take a little sneak peek at what's at the top. Judgment. Okay, so you've earned this. You deserve this new beginning. And that's also why you are being shown the road to your Four of Wands, the road to your Ten of Cups, the road to your Queen of Swords. Now, what you are receiving is a bit more of an end goal than the road there from your perspective. When in reality, what you're being shown is the energy of what it feels like when you get there, painted onto the picture of the path you're meant to walk on. So you are actually receiving both. There's an energy here about, we have 4 and 10 coming out, which is Cancer Capricorn dynamic, which is also your parents. 4 is the mother, 10 is the father. So allowing the universe to be the healed, healthy, loving embodiment of maternal and paternal energies, and trusting in the information that you're receiving, a little less than it being literal as you were thinking, in a way where it is everything squeezed together, compacted into what it is that you need to know. Now, Ganesha would like to let you know that you've got this, that you might feel as though there's so much for you to do, and that it's very important that you have the correct steps. It's very important that you figure out what the steps are along this road that you're walking. But it turns out that the sign at the beginning of the road might not have actually been accurate to the road that you're actually walking down. And the reason why this is coming up now is because if that sign hadn't have been there, you might not have walked down that path. And by the time you get to your destination, you would not have wanted that path to be the one you were walking down anyway, because the sign in front of the path was faulty. They're showing me like clickbait or something like this. Ganesha wants you to know that along this path, you will unlearn a lot of the things that are being shown to you in your face. There's a lot of energy here that is being, like, they're showing me flaunted. Like, people They're showing me in my clairvoyance people being lined up alongside this path, and they're all holding signs. This sign has a piece of information on it, this sign has a piece of information on it, and you're kind of walking along and learning from these signs as you go, but all of the signs are distractions. None of the signs are saying anything that is true and real and accurate. But because you have the faulty sign at the beginning of the road, and it's not you, it is the propaganda to get you to walk down this path. But because there are these signs along the road, it is easy to learn with your eyes instead of learning with your heart. It is easy to learn the truth that you want to be true rather than the truth that is universally true. And so there's going to be a lot of energies here about balancing out your masculine and feminine energies and learning discernment along the way. Now, Ganesha wants you not to be afraid of learning how to use your discernment, because inevitably this means that there will be times where you don't use proper discernment. You think that you do, you use all of the tools in your belt, you think your hardest, you pray your hardest, you meditate your hardest, and what comes out is still inevitably a lesson that you need to learn. So continuing to come back to that heart space, continuing to come back to that balanced spot, continuing to maintain a steady, faithful practice, whatever your practice looks like for you, is going to be really, really helpful for you getting to where it is that you're going. When you unravel the sweater, you will realize that there are many different components that go into making a sweater. From sourcing the material, to weaving the thread, to creating each and every stitch. You will find that some spots have more stitches and other spots have less stitches, and that some spots, instead of being knit or crocheted, they're actually sewn together. Some spots are ironed, some spots are washed. Some parts of the thread you'll be able to tell were reutilized. And there is so much to be learned from unraveling that sweater that you thought that you were looking at a sweater, but you realized that you weren't. They're showing me that sign. They're showing me this scene in the movie The Devil Wears Prada, where Meryl Streep is like, you think that you're wearing a blue sweater. I don't remember it specifically, but what you don't know is that was chosen for you by the very people in this room. And so there's like this energy similar to this that's coming out. Now, the overarching theme here is to trust where you're going, regardless of what the signs say, and not to very specifically learn off of those signs, because those signs might be distractions. They might also be things that are convenient for you to fall off there and spin down that divine detour. See each and every one as a lookout point. When you are going along your road, you can stop and enjoy the view. You can always stop and do a detour. You can always stop and continue to learn something new. You can stop, you're driving down the highway and you can stop and see the world's largest ball of yarn, but that's not your destination. So don't get stuck in yarn land, because the path that you think that you're on is not the path that you are on. This is not to say you're on the wrong path. It is to say that you're on the right path. And that you, your higher self, the universe and you, needed you to want, think, learn, feel, experience certain things in order to continue to get you to where you're going. Because if you had seen accurately the full picture ahead of time, you might not have walked down that path. Or you might have walked it a little bit slower. You know this. You know this already because you've experienced it in other parts of your journey. This is this pattern again, but this time it's not as hard. It's not as difficult. It's not as serious. However, you still needed to be brought there. This is you. I'm hearing the term false pretenses, but Ganesha wants you to know that there is no false pretense other than the way that you know yourself. And because you know yourself, you are well aware of what it is that you are more likely to consume. If someone hands you a chocolate bar that is really, really healthy for you, but you are more apt to eat the chocolate bar versus something that looks like it's made out of vegetables and protein, but it's actually really, really bad for you, you might have a tendency to eat the chocolate bar, but the chocolate bar is the one that is actually healthy for you, not the one that says it's something else. There's this energy like this that's being shown. You are so eyes like a hawk. You're so on point here that when your intuition tells you eat the one that you are perceiving to be less healthy, you are. When your intuition tells you, this is the right path, but the wrapping on the path, the wrapping on the chocolate bar, the wrapping on the, protein bar, the manufacturing, when it is presented as something that it's not, but your intuition is still saying, no, this is the road that we walk down. It's just being presented as something that it's not. Okay? So with this being the case, Ganesha wants you to know that your truth matters. The things that you genuinely learn while walking on this path are going to be things that are directly antithesis, exactly opposite of what those signposts along the way say. They're showing me a bunch of people, again, on the different sides of a path with their signs, and they're protesting, and they're screaming, and they're saying, this is the truth, and this is what you need to know, and if you do this, and you do this, and you buy this fancy thing, and you do this thing, I know I'm the... and all of this. Exactly what you are meant to learn by walking through this path will be that every single thing that those signs said was not true. And it is almost this energy of trusting that you are walking through like opposite day, in a sense. It's like Alice in Wonderland. Alice didn't follow the white rabbit with the intention of going to Wonderland, but her intention was to follow the white rabbit. However, it was never about the white rabbit. It was about Alice and Wonderland. So this is the way that Ganesha would like for you to perceive this for the time being. Let's see what other messages Ganesha has for you, group number 1. You will learn along the way, if you haven't already, that because you are committed to understanding, you will come across people who are committed to misunderstanding you and or committed to their own misunderstanding. This is not your business. Keep your nose down and continue moving along. It might be tempting because you might see an entire protest. You might see an entire movement of people, but those people have traversed up until this certain point on the path, and you are going to continue walking the path. They chose to fall off there, and they're trying to get other people to fall off there as well. Darkness is a vacuum. Darkness is magnetic. So keeping this in mind, and this is why in the beginning here, you have feminine and masculine energies balancing out entirely. This is why you have this reminder that you have both energies. You do not act through one or the other. It is the perfect marriage of both within you and nothing else, because this resembles your connection with the universe, your connection to the divine, no more, no less. And you will notice a lot of false narratives along the path continue to move forward. If you are, for example, watching a show or reading a book, and you know that you are not finished with the show, you know that you are not finished with the book, but you begin to look up, oh my gosh, I can't believe what happened in chapter 2. Let's continue looking at this. And you start getting speculation. You also start getting spoilers. You start getting a lot of people who are in their fan theory and their conspiracies and trying to figure out what's going on. That is amazing, but do not get lost in that. Go back to the book and read through chapter 3. Be determined enough to read through to the end. You will be glad that you did. Okay. Trust in the reciprocity. Trust that this will be worth it for you, and you'll be able to help others to be a light post out of these, because there will be people who have realized that they got lost in the world of the speculation, and they will look for the way out. They will have a harder time finding the path, but they will see the light. And when they look forward on the path and they see that there is you on that path, and they look around and they see all these other people who are confused and running around like chickens with their heads cut off, they're going to realize that they don't want to be one of those. That's never what they were meant to do. That their head was clouded. Their mind was foggy. But they see that on the path they won't be alone if they go there. So this is why you're being called to perhaps acknowledge, see where these are occurring, but do not spin off. Continue moving forward. It might be tempting. It might be tempting because some of the things will be perhaps what is fun for you to believe, perhaps what is convenient for you to believe. The truth always gets out though. So allow yourself to be determined and devoted to that. Ganesha wants you to know that of course you are magic. Of course you have more magic more vision, more strength, more ability to create the beauty of the world and the universe around you than these energies that are not strong enough to look at a signpost that says something faulty and get caught up in there. This is what gives you the strength. And while you might feel as though sometimes you are walking alone, you will not be. Because you will understand that when you begin to speak a truth that others might not necessarily be comfortable with, you will realize that you speaking up about this is the very thing that gives others the strength, the safety, and the positioning to be able to say, I saw that too. I recognize that true. I recognize that too. It's kind of like if someone is a bully, for example, and everyone is afraid to speak up about the bully. Everyone acts like the bully is their best friend. Everyone acts like the bully is helping them. But in reality, this person is a bully. And you know it. Other people know it too. But the victims stay in silence. The moment that you speak up is the moment that someone else will stand up as well. And that will give someone else the courage to stand up, and someone else as well. And this is how you are being guided to walk down this leadership. So, do not get overly consumed by the false signage that is along the way. Because it is enticing to you for a specific reason. But Ganesha wants you to know that they're on your side, meaning that the obstacles will be removed from your path as long as you continue to be determined to walk along that path. Because if you continue walking down the path and that is your focus, the things that were true will continue to be true, and they will always be true. And if certain truths ebb and flow along the path and you can feel that, then that's an indication where there might have been some sort of conditioning or programming there for you along the way. And that's nothing bad. It's nothing bad at all. It is just to say that you are growing past this. They're showing me in the movie Dead Poet Society, the "Oh Captain, My Captain" scene, where all the students stand up on the desk and they say, "Oh Captain, my Captain," as an homage to their teacher. This may be something that feels stressful for you right now, primarily because you're at this point where you are feeling the truth of your situation, and you are seeing the vision that is needed to be painted for you in order to walk down that path. However, the vision that you're seeing and the way that you feel once you are completed with that journey, with that path, you are already consciously or subconsciously aware that they are a mismatch. This is why you're being shown something like a ball with the truth in the middle. It's like a bulb of a flower. It must unfold and blossom. What is on the inside is multi-fold. It's got 1,000 petals, and it goes back to faith, the crown chakra here. Ganesha would like for you to know that as long as you stay determined, walking down the path, as long as you continuing, obstacles will be removed from your way. And there's a reason why you are receiving specifics at this time. Follow your idea of the specifics, then never, ever, ever, ever be afraid to unlearn or be the one that stands up first. There's a reason for this, and there's a reason why it's you. So continue having faith, and because of this, you do have extra support. Okay, group number 1, that is your channeled message from Ganesha. I hope this helps shed love, light, and clarity for you, and I hope you have an amazing rest of your day, week, month, year, and incarnation in this beautiful, magical realm. I love you so, so much, and I hope to see you next time. Namaste. Hello, my loves. Namaste, and welcome to your reading. Today I'm channeling a message to you from Ganesha, and you selected the second group with the Follow the Flow card. Oh, hi, Fly. There's a message here from Ganesha about trusting your instincts and following the flow, and also believing that you are here for a long time as well as a good time. With that being said, continue to follow the flow and allow yourself to make little micro adjustments along the way that really feel right. I'm hearing path of least resistance for you right now. Ganesha is coming through to offer you a blessing, to bestow upon you a blessing. And group number 2, Ganesha wants you to know that there is much good fortune and abundance along the path for you, and it requires simply that you let go, that you release, that you follow the flow. There are a lot of unexpected eyes on you at this time. Trust that what the universe presents you with is what the universe is intending to present you with. And when things move away or they move towards you, there is a reason for this. There is nothing that is meant to be done by you at this point in time other than following the flow. The way that you're meant to move at this time, it's very similar to a river or a stream, where you might approach it and see a bend in the river. You might approach it and see a few rocks or creatures in there, but nonetheless, the part of the river that you see is going to be different if you head a bit south or a bit north or a bit east or a bit west. And the water that you will step in will not be the same twice. So continue following the river and trust that as you follow the flow, you do have a solid, steady outline, although it might ebb and flow a little bit. The contents of the river will continue to ebb and change and flow, allowing yourself to be in the flow of abundance, which is just like a water. It is just like a river. It is just like a waterfall. It must continue to flow, and so must you. They're showing me floor work, like in dance, if you're familiar. So for some of you, floor work or practicing things that help with your like joints staying supple. They're also showing me getting low, like close to the floor, getting grounded, looking at microorganisms, picking up rocks and seeing the environments, the ecosystems underneath, showing me looking at tide pools and going down to see the little world that is in there, and then zooming out and seeing this huge river of abundance where every single moment you can zoom in and you'll be able to see an entire world, trusting that if you follow your own flow, it will lead you out of pain and into liberation, out of delusion and into truth. I'm hearing actually one of my favorite mantras, which I'll share with you right now. And this is sometimes called the truth prayer, the way that I learned it in my yoga teacher training. But the essence of it to me really says transmutation from darkness into light. It's Asato Ma Sad Gamaya, which is lead me from the untruth into the truth. Tamaso Ma Jyotir Gamaya, lead me from darkness into light. Ritur Ma Amritam Gamaya, lead me from death to immortality. And then, of course, Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om, peace, peace, peace. So Ganesha wanted me to share that with you today. This energy of not transmutation, like a huge weight to be lifted and like to transmute this with your strength and force, but rather to release the force and follow the flow. And to trust that Ganesha is seeing you with open arms, eyes on you, and complete faith in what is to come. And Ganesha wants you to know that at this point, they're stepping in front of all of the things that are in line to come towards you. They're showing me like you sitting perhaps in meditation in peace by a riverbed. I keep hearing Just Around the Riverbend from Pocahontas, so that might be significant for some of you. But they're showing me you in meditation and almost a crowd of people around you, all waiting for the second you open your eyes so that they can come approach you, and there's tons of them. And Ganesha is showing me Ganesh at the front of the crowd, almost creating a force field around you so that you can remain in your peace, follow your own flow. And Ganesh first bestows a blessing upon you that will bring you good fortune and wealth and abundance in all of the ways. And by you following your flow, by you surrendering, by you being open to what is coming towards you, because of this, because of the heart behind it, the things that come towards you are, in good faith, blessings of Ganesha. They're coming to you through Ganesha. You might see, for example, an elephant, and you might not feel called towards the elephant. You might feel drawn towards the elephant, you might see it, but the elephant might be showing you something, and that is the thing that you are being led towards. And you might notice that there's a synchronicity between that and something else that you would not have put together if you were not initially drawn towards Ganesha, or 6, or 66, or the Vajra, or the elephant, or the path opener. And so, continue following the flow. I will get into your tarot now, and let's pull some more messages to you, group 2, from Ganesha. As you can tell, I love Ganesha. This is not my first reading where I've channeled them. I always use gender-neutral pronouns for Ganesha, most usually. Not because in the Vedas oftentimes Ganesha is depicted as a masculine figure, but I've experienced Ganesha in a masculine energy and a feminine energy and all sorts of energies, but it's still the same being, just different versions of it. And so, yeah, that's why I have a feminine-ish elephant tattooed on my arm, and follows me around quite often, my little friend. So there's a personal aspect. I'm sharing myself, of course, but there's a personal aspect to these blessings that are on their way for you. We have here, Nine of Swords and the Queen of Wands. I'm hearing, group 2, a dream is a wish your heart makes when you're fast asleep. We have 5 of Pentacles and 10 of Pentacles. There's something here that your inner child feels like it missed out on, that Ganesha would like to give to you now, but from a place that serves who you are today as well as where you're going. So keep an eye out for this. Don't overthink it. But when it presents itself to you, be open to receiving it. You might be a bit hesitant, but you're being called to trust that this is coming through Ganesha, and that there will be enough evidence for you to understand that this is safe. This is already circling around you in some way, and it will be twice as beautiful, twice as abundant, twice as enjoyable as it once was sad or difficult. Ganesha wants you to know that you are making it to even more solid ground, but not to underestimate or neglect how beautiful it is to be in those uncertain waters on your way there. They're showing me someone, 6 of Swords here. They're showing me someone on a boat who is so excited to finally land at that place that they've been trying to get to. But the entire time they've been in the boat, the entire time they've been trying to get to the land, the entire time they've been trying and striving, and they finally see it and they're almost there. And Ganesha is saying, you can get out and swim in the water where it's shallow enough and it's clear enough before you reach your destination, which you will. You already see it, you're already aware of this. But don't forget to enjoy the beauty and the abundance and the gifts that come along with being in the water. The ever-changing, ever-new, the organized chaos, the entropy, the seemingly random synchronicity that is the water, that is your flow. So, you are experiencing a spiritual awakening in a way that is asking you to be at peace and receive. And this is going to be asking you to receive something that, for you, has been transmuted from an obstacle, from a difficulty, into childlike wonder. And oftentimes it is that childlike wonder that can sometimes be naivety, not consciously, but if you think about a little kid in the construct where they don't have life experience, they have hope towards something, they have trust towards people, right? And we have, of course, different personalities, different upbringings, but just that pure, clean slate, that innocence, that purity there, that can sometimes lead towards hurt because of that trust, because of that faith. And so Ganesha is now taking that, well, you have done the work, but Ganesha is putting something where that childlike joy was mistaken, like that kindness was taken for weakness, that innocence, that purity was taken for naivety, and for some reason ended up becoming an obstacle, ended up becoming a burden, ended up becoming something that was a roadblocker for you. But it has been transmuted over a longer period of time. And you have traversed the entire ocean in order to get to that solid land. And so Ganesha would like to let you know that you're there now. So now that you are in peace, you are in flow, you are in your flow, you are in divine flow. And there are a lot of eyes on you at this time, all wanting to come towards you. Ganesha is showing me again, once more, at the front of this huge crowd of people wanting to approach you, looking at you, wanting to ask you a question, wanting to talk to you, wanting to have you on their team, wanting to build with you, wanting to do all of these things, and just standing in the front of this crowd, reaching his arms out, creating a force field, a barrier, and saying, no, this one is safe, this one is protected, this one deserves a blessing. And so the few that do come forward, it is because they are able to come forward in goodwill, in good faith, through the blessing of Ganesha. Because you have a force field around you at this time. So trust where you are led to by the elephant. Trust where you are led to by divine orchestration. And I'm hearing, never underestimate the break, the wave break. The ocean can seem so calm and so flat and like it goes on forever. And right when you get to the shore is where it gets bumpy, is where you see the waves. And oftentimes, in order to float in the ocean to chill, you either have to time it just right in between sets of waves, or you have to traverse that reckless, chaotic, the beast of the ocean in order to get past the wave break. And then once you're there, you can chill and you can float and then you'll find some wildlife and it's a vibe and it's fun. Ganesha is saying, fear not the waves. Let them toss you around. You know how to traverse the ocean. You know how to traverse uncertainty. You know that the land is right there. It is shallow enough for you to stand. So let the waves carry you to shore. Have a little bit of fun. Follow the flow. Let it be effortless. Stay in your peace. Stay in your state of surrender. And when approached with something that you never got before, or when approached with a trustworthy version of something that hurt you because of the childlike wonder, because of that hope, because of that optimism, because of that love that was once associated with this very thing, it is safe once more to identify it as a want, a desire of yours. And this gentle transmutation that has occurred throughout the process is leading you into, they're showing me once more, looking into a tide pool and seeing the ecosystem, lifting up a rock and seeing the ecosystem, getting to know a new person and learning the entire world that is them. So, allowing yourself to feel safe enough in the macro to explore the micro, and to feel solid enough in the micro that you know that the macro will not change by you exploring it. Okay, group number 2, that is your channeled message from Ganesha. I hope this helped shed love, light, and clarity for you. And as always, I hope you have an amazing rest of your day, week, month, year, and incarnation in this beautiful, magical realm. I love you, and I'm grateful that you're here, and I hope to see you next time. Namaste. Hi there, Group 3. Namaste, and welcome to your reading. Today I am channeling a message to you from Ganesha, and you selected the third group with the Escaping the Matrix card. Now, the first message that wants to come through, tapping in with your energy, is, okay, they're showing me escape, and I'm hearing the Pina Colada song, which I forgot existed, so that can be a sign for some of you. There is this energy definitely of circling back around to gratitude, but most importantly, there's this energy of you breaking through an old paradigm of yours. Now, let me tap in a little bit deeper because I feel called. Ganesha would like you to remember the importance of expressing yourself authentically, as well as the importance of allowing yourself to refine what that means, to be authentically refined. And with the Escaping the Matrix card, there is an element here that you see beyond the veil of illusion. You see beyond the constructs that many have either presented before you or once tried to put onto you. I'm seeing the word matriarch, and so for some of you, you might be the matriarch, or a matriarch figure might be guiding you along with Ganesh, or this can be physical or metaphysical. That's what I'm getting here. Ganesha would like to let you know that you are opening up into new spiritual gifts, and that you're going to be becoming more and more aware of different sensations than the ones that you knew existed before. And with this, Ganesha wants you to know that you are ready for this. This is not happening for you because you are not ready, or to see how you respond, or because there are a million difficult lessons attached to this. This is not Saturnian. This is Mercurial. So, with this being the case, allow yourself to continue to find your balance, and not to be afraid to step one toe in either side of the equation, because just as you learn to balance on one foot, you will also learn to balance on the other. So keep your balance in the center, regardless of what side you are putting your weight on. They're showing me specifically, you can be standing on your right foot but still have your weight. Like you can be having your weight on your right foot but still be balanced, still have your center in alignment. Like you don't have to shift to the side that you are balancing on. So in this way, explore dualities without moving your center. Ganesha would like to remind you that everything is the way that it should be, with absolutely no exception, and that you've been dealing with some of the more difficult aspects of life recently, internally, externally, mind, body, spirit, emotions. Ganesha wants you to know, group number 3, that you are beautiful. You are loved just the way that you are. And something is going to go a lot more smoothly than you are expecting it to. You may be wondering about how you can move forward. And to you, this might look like picking up some tools, rolling up your sleeves, progressing forward, showing up in your determination, taking big belly breaths, getting ready to go. And it might be something that is filled with ease and flow and smoothness and clarity for you. So Ganesha would like for you not to, I'm hearing, interestingly enough, waste your energy on preparations, when in reality, the flow that is here for you is one that will allow you to release and receive and stand in your feminine energy. There is this aspect here of positivity and negativity, of things that are healthy, things that are not healthy, things that are light, things that are dark. This dual aspect continues to come up. Now, femininity is inherently darkness, and masculinity is inherently light. However, these energetic associations are still within a dualistic matrix. So you're being called to allow yourself to explore in your feminine energy the light and shadow attributes. The goddess of the light versus the goddess of the dark. And finding that balanced central place in the middle. Ganesha wants you to know that if you want to cry, if you want to shout, if you want to share a message, if you want to sing, if you want to dance, if you want to laugh, if you want to pray, if you want to play, allow yourself to do so. Think less, express more at this point in time. Let's get into your tarot and see what messages Ganesha has for you today, group number 3. You are about to enter one of the happiest chapters of your life after dealing with a bit of stress, difficulty, feeling like, I'm hearing betrayal, feeling like you were maybe stabbed in the back, or just dealing with thing after thing after thing for a while now. This liberation is finally here. This is in the past. Now, you may have been hearing recently, or you may have been feeling recently, someone's thinking about you, or something from the past will come back up, or you have to be the bigger person and release something so that you can be in a place where you're not dealing with this instead of that initial situation just acting right. Things like this. Because you could. But because you could, you also were given the responsibility to. Where other people were lacking both, or other situations were lacking both. This was, of course, angelically guided so that you can be an angel or an angelic intercessor in the lives of others. However, you are now stepping into a new chapter where for you, you get to receive beauty, you get to receive blessings, you get to receive things that you once cherished and needed to walk away from simply because you had to keep moving forward. Simply because you had learned better, and so you did better. You had escaped the matrix. Ganesha wants you to know that there are different versions of you out there that you might be feeling sneaking back up onto you. And you might be kind of playing tug-of-war with some of these versions of yourself because they might be drawing you towards them, and you might have learned to walk away. This is where Ganesha is saying you can balance on either foot and still have your center of balance. You've learned how to get out of your own way. And so the purified versions of these energies that had gotten cleared out are now coming back, wanting to be expressed, integrated, embodied, and illuminated from within. There seems to be a bit of a nurturing of this energy, a cultivation of this energy, a love for this energy that seems to have been washed away a little bit as time goes on. And Ganesha wants you to know that now is a wonderful time for you to take a look at what is sparking those fires within you, to work on your manifestations, to spend extra time in nature, and to work with the element of fire. Ganesha is showing me that sometimes fire can burn you, and sometimes, fire can make you and it can also break you. And Ganesha is showing me that you have learned in learning how to play with the fire, you learned not to play with the fire. Or in learning how to play with the fire, you learn not to mess with the fire. But because of this, you have become a master of fire and are now being called to reintegrate it into your practice, to use it responsibly. Some of you have this strength, this inherent power, this real powerhouse within you that you might feel is not in alignment with the grace that you've needed to learn, with the peace that you've needed to cultivate, with the light you've learned to express. And this is where Ganesh wants you to know that you can now integrate things because you have a more refined sense of not just right and wrong, but energy work, mental awareness, emotional awareness, energetic awareness within yourself. And so where this energy may have needed to get grouped as something and you walk away from it, you release it, now there were a few little pieces in there that never needed to get cleared away, so they're coming back to the forefront. But they might have been under the umbrella of something that you needed to clear. But all of these things were not bad. So they're coming back up. And these are specifically the pieces of you, of your power, of your memories, of your inspiration that have escaped the matrix or allowed you to escape the matrix. Gifts that you've had all along and put on the back burner because it fell under the category of something you needed to walk away from, of things that you learned in dealing with something painful. And so because of this, you didn't go back to that. But the thing that was painful or difficult has been cleared, but there were positive things that you learned from that too. So Ganesha would like to remind you to hold space for yourself and how far you've come. I just bit my teeth together, which is weird. I never do that. So maybe if you've been grinding your teeth or you feel a little bit of tension maybe in your neck, jaw, shoulders area, this is a sign for you to take it easy on yourself and rest a little bit more. Really, really let yourself enjoy rest. 8 of Swords coming out with the 3 of Pentacles. It seems I'm hearing overthink, overdo, repeat. Okay. Beautiful, beautiful. Yeah, Ganesha has a specific message for you that wants to come through today with this as the preface, with this as the foundation. And it's that you have seen yourself in your fullest, but this fullest version of you was muddied by some other things around you. However, now you have taken the time to clear these things out, to find your center, to learn yourself, to find the bubble of the things that are you. You've chosen to dive within yourself and to start a new beginning. And so because of this fresh new version of you that you've been in for a long time is ready to reintegrate the bits and pieces of you that are individual to you. There is purity, there is source, there is divinity, and there is also individual expression of your unique individual nature. Now, this individual nature is something that needs to get cleaned and cleared and offered up to the divine in order for the divine to ascend, in order for the divine to work through you. But after this has been fully completed, a new chapter begins. One of abundance, one of prosperity, one of beauty, one of being spirit incarnate in this world. Not just because we all inevitably are, but because you've completed a significant road, a significant journey here. Ganesha wants you to know that although you might be stressed about the future, or even some things that you have to do right now, elements of timing, elements of logistics, you are being called to not negate your entire internal world, your spiritual experience, that grace that you have, and allow those little bits and pieces of yourself, the pieces that are a bit of a know-it-all, the parts that are a bit sassy, the parts that are a bit ferocious, fierce, magical, the bits and pieces that are a little bit feminine, a little bit dark, a little bit individual, to reintegrate themselves because they have been recycled already. Ganesha wants you to know that your intuition, of course, it's not going anywhere regardless of how much you build in the material realm. But with this being the case, there seems to be a little bit of waiting for things to catch up. A little bit of being almost... a little bit of feeling like you're more evolved than your own good. A little bit of feeling like you have the lock and you have the key, but you don't want to walk through the door alone. A little bit of a feeling like you had the lock and the key, and you went on an entire adventure just to figure out that you had the lock and the key. Even though it's like you end up back where you started. Ganesha wants you to know, group number 3, that you're beautiful in your own skin, and that things matter a lot less than you're making them out to, internally and externally. And that's not to invalidate your experience, it's actually to do quite the opposite. To allow you to give yourself even more space to experience these things. To allow yourself to continue holding on to that balanced central point, that balanced light, but also that grace. To take a look at the structure that you were, the structure that you intuitively built, and the road you were called to take, only to come back home. Because this entire experience was intentional by you, through you, and for you. And what you've experienced along the way was something that you wanted to experience. You could have put one foot in front of the other. And intuitively you knew this too. But instead, you chose to dance. You chose to sing. You chose to paint. You chose to lay down on the ground and look up at the stars. You chose to close your eyes and meditate and experience all the astral realms. Ganesha wants you to know that the parts of you that have been hidden and unexpressed for so long, in every single way, every corner of what that is, are now coming to light. They're now going to be radically appreciated, radically in demand, radically loved, cherished, accepted, appreciated. And this adjustment might stress you out, keep you up at night, be showing up in your dreams so that you can acclimate to this change in temperature, if you will. Ganesha wants you to know that he is just ahead of you on your path and is holding out their hand. Poof. If you so choose to take it. Clairvoyantly, I'm being shown like a little kid, sort of like the image on this specific Five of Pentacles card. A little kid who is afraid of taking the next step, or who is a bit tired, or who is just a bit sick of everything, who's just a little bit worn down a smidge. And like this nurturing figure, this adult figure, Ganesha, this divine energy, like holding out a blanket and saying it's okay, putting the blanket around the child and saying, I'll walk with you, I'll hold you, I'll make sure you're safe, I'll protect you, energies like this. And so back to this escaping the matrix card, group number 3. Ganesha wants you to know that you already knew that you already saw everything clearly. And so when you come back to a point of figuring that out, of realizing that, it might make you feel a little bit tired. But there's a reminder here not to lose the relativity of everything, including the importance of what you just walked through, what you spent a lot of time investing in, as well as the fact that you saw it in the first place anyway. Because it matters so much. And also, if it really mattered, you wouldn't have. It matters to you. And so here we have like the tide coming in and out, and washing some seashells and miscellaneous little gifts upon the shore. And Ganesha would like for you to recognize that these seashells, these little gifts, these little bits and pieces of you that want to be reintegrated after the large cleansing, after the tide has gone out, Each and every one of these are like a little gift, a little offering. Each one has traveled a long, long way in order to be reunited with you. In order for you just to say, wow, that's something that's so beautiful, and pick it up and appreciate it for a moment. Thus is life and death. Thus is the inevitability and relativity of everything that we do and everything that we are. Ganesha wants you to know that at your brightest, you are dark, and at your darkest, you are light. At your deepest, you are shallow, and at your most shallow, you are depth itself. And not to get lost in the paradox, translation, or lack thereof, but rather to trust that every step that you take is simply in passing through something. And sometimes the road less traveled is the road best left behind. That's from an Adele song. What song is that? I Drink Wine by Adele. Some of you might have messages in that song for you. So with that being the case, allow yourself to look back with peace. I'm hearing the song Don't Look Back in Anger by Oasis. Let yourself look back and realize that you did know all along. And because of that, that's what gave you the security to walk through something. That's why you chose to walk through something, not why you should have chosen not to. That's why you did experience something, because you did see it. That's why you experienced all of these things, because you chose to. Consciously or subconsciously, that's why something was unconscious to you, because you consciously chose that. That's why something was conscious to you, because you subconsciously chose that. So on and so forth. Exploring these energies, Ganesha would like to remind you that you are loved, you are infinitely free, you are infinitely loved, you are infinitely blessed, and there is nothing in the world that can bring you down or stop you or prevent you from being exactly where you're going, which is exactly where you already are. You're beautiful, and you are loved, and you are appreciated, and your depths will be seen and appreciated. They're showing me, I'm hearing the song, someone's knocking at your door, somebody's ringing the bell. And again, they're showing me this Five of Pentacles card. You sitting by the store with the lock and the key, all alone, just a little bit tired. Just, if I can just muster up the willpower to put the lock and the key and then push the door open, or if only someone was there with me to witness this miracle occurring or something like this. Ganesha is showing me the Five of Pentacles, this person in this position, but unbeknownst to them, perhaps, the door actually opens up the other way. Someone else had unlocked the door and pushed it open. So while this person is taking a beat, while this person is resting, while this person is reminiscing, or whatever, about to open the door, whatever's on the other side of the door pushes it open. You're meant to be heard. You will be in a more comfortable situation soon. And whatever this is that's been rocking your boat a little bit is something that you chose so that you can experience better. But you would never do yourself too bad, even if it might not feel like it always. Trust that you're always making the most activating and abundant decision for yourself, whether it's coming from you, whether it's coming from the divine, whether it's coming from someone else, whether it's conscious or unconscious to you, whether it's temporary, whether it's permanent. It's all in your best interest. Group number 3, that is your channeled message from Ganesha. I hope this helped shed love, light, and clarity for you. And as always, I hope you have an amazing rest of your day, week, month, year, and incarnation in this beautiful, magical realm. I love you, I'm grateful for you, and I hope to see you next time. Namaste.